I flew nearly every day throughout the entire summer and was hoping to finish up my private pilot's license flight test by the end of August. Unfortunately, I've entered the dreaded flight test limbo. And it's not a great place to be in, and let's talk a little bit about perhaps what you can do to avoid getting in that situation in the first place and learn from my mistakes. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Late Departure. I'm Adam, and as some of you may know, I am trying my best to hopefully become a commercial airline pilot at some point, even though I'm at a bit of a later age at 37 years old right now. Even so, doing my best to try to make that dream come true. And like I mentioned in the beginning, I'm kind of in something like a limbo, which is a state where you're not really moving very much. You're sort of floating in one space for an extended period of time with nowhere to go. That's not entirely true for myself. I am a little bit stuck, but it's not the end of the world, and I'm still doing my best right now to continue progressing. But basically, to sum up the issue, there are three major factors. There is weather, maintenance, and bookings. And hopefully, after I've talked about all of this, all of you, especially those of you who are new prospective pilots who are just starting your PPL, you can hopefully learn from my lessons so you do not end up in this pre-flight test limbo that I found myself in here. So starting out, well, of course, my flight instructor, right from the very beginning, he said, you're going to lose at least 40% of your bookings due to weather and maintenance. And it's very true. You do lose a lot of your bookings. But what I did not expect, because I haven't flown extensively, well, at all, for over 15 years, is that once fall hits, the weather would become very, very difficult to deal with. And as you can see behind me today, it's actually beautiful. This is one of the first really nice days we've had in a long time here. And we're already quite a ways into October here. But all throughout September, there were so many cancellations due to weather. I think I lost at least 3 weeks or so worth of bookings. That's a lot of bookings. And weather really has been unfortunate. Even in just the past week, I've had a whole bunch of cancellations due to weather. In the entire previous month of September, it was just mad how bad the weather was. I was surprised. I know a lot of other people were surprised. But the thing is, in general aviation, that's life. Weather isn't always going to be great. You're going to have bad weather days. And this is one of the things I'm also learning about Vancouver, and which, is why I'm considering possibly doing my commercial pilot's license in a different province, because Vancouver weather is really bad in the fall, winter, and spring. And so I've got to experience that firsthand in my training here, as I've lost a whole bunch of bookings with weather. So the second thing I mentioned, maintenance. And this has been another really big thing. Now, again, this is something that it can happen to any school. It doesn't matter where you go, but every school, all the planes, eventually they have to go through their 50-hour, 100-hour, 200-hour maintenance. And then you have the random mechanical things that just break down. And when something breaks, you can't go up. So just the other day, I got the plane ready. I was all set to go up. I was super excited to get up and fly. It wasn't a really beautiful day, but it was a nice day. I love to fly whenever I can. And just when they came back, the previous instructor and student said, hey, by the way, the indicator for the flaps, it broke. It stopped working. Well, we brought out everyone to just check out the plane, and indeed, the flap indicator was not working. And even though it's not a super critical item, because of that, the plane was grounded, because that's the rules. If there's some kind of maintenance item or something breaks on the plane, you have to record that mechanical failure. You have to get the mechanics to look at it. You have to get approval from the mechanics to get the plane to be able to fly again, and all that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, that meant a very quick end of that day, meant that my drive all the way out, the hour and a half out, hour and a half back, was pretty much for nothing. But that's general aviation. And unfortunately for me, it's a combination of things, a combination of the fact that the school I'm going to is very busy, and of course they're a popular school. They have great instructors and staff there, so a lot of people want to train there, and if a lot of people train there, it's going to be really busy. And we've just had, I'd say, a stroke of bad luck in that a lot of the planes have gone down for maintenance recently. So just a whole combination of things, mostly because of regular maintenance schedules, so 200-hour maintenance and things like that. Some of them needed parts to be flown in. And again, this is something that's typical for most flight schools. This isn't, just specifically for mine, but I think I just got really unlucky in that the planes that I like to fly, they just weren't available. And so I lost a whole bunch of bookings because of that. And that was really unfortunate. Which brings us on to the third and final factor, which is kind of the nail in the coffin, and that was that the school that I'm going to is extremely busy. And of course, they have a really nice staff and a good program, so they have a lot of students who want to train there, and that's just the reality. If you go to a busy school, no matter how big the school is or how many planes they have, if they're super busy and overloaded, it's going to be difficult to get bookings. And so for me, I had a whole bunch of bookings canceled, and I couldn't rebook because there are too many other students who have booked flights. And while I have managed to get a few bookings here and there, it hasn't been great. But that being said, when I was flying back in the summertime, I had actually booked every single day up until the end of September because I assumed that, I must be getting finished by the end of August. I've finished all of the flight exercises. I've gotten all the preparation work done, so I must be able to finish it. And unfortunately, that was a really bad assumption, and I hope all of you can learn from this. If you have the opportunity to book, just book as far in advance as you can, as long as you can, until the day that you finish your licenses and you finish all of your training. Until that day, do not stop booking. I stopped booking at the end of September, so come October here, I only had a few bookings here or there, and I'm kind of stuck in this moment now where I'm not getting to fly for longer and longer in between flights. The longest period actually was probably around 2 weeks or more that I didn't get to fly. And what happens then is, even though you've done all the exercises and you've done all these things, the longer the spacing in between your flights, the less you're able to really build that muscle memory and be able to perform the skills. Or maybe not you, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just because I'm old or it's my own ability. I don't know. But for me personally, and this is what really frustrated me when I was flying over 15 years ago, I was only flying once every 2 or 3 weeks, and I wasn't building any skills. And now I'm in a similar situation where I have built all of these skills, but they're not getting refined as much as I'd like for the flight test. And some of the skills, I'm even forgetting a few things. So the other day, when I went to go up, I forgot to take the chalk, so the wheel blocks out before I started to go. And I had to stop and shut down and go out and take out the wheel chocks. And even something as simple as that, it's just a muscle memory item, something you get used to doing every single day. But the longer you have in between bookings, the harder things are, to be totally honest. And it's been really frustrating and really tiring and difficult because I have a plan. I wanted to finish my PPL, start my CPL ground study, start my CPL on the 1st of December, and really I had a plan for all this stuff, how I wanted it to go down. But unfortunately, because of this, it's really messing with my plans, and it's really extending my total training period. And for me, as someone who lives here, it's not too terribly bad. I've already lived here, and I have a place here, and I'm already in my lifestyle here. But if you're a student going to another province, or if you're an international student coming here from another country, definitely consider this and remember about those bookings. Try to keep those things in mind when you're looking for a flight school. Maybe trying to go for a flight school that's slightly less busy so that you're able to make bookings if you lose out bookings due to weather or maintenance. Well, if you lose booking due to weather, there's nothing really you can do no matter which plane you take. But if it's because of maintenance and it's a less busy school, you have a higher chance of being able to jump onto another plane and continue training as you had planned originally. So that's it for today, and I just wanted to share that with everyone because I think it's so great when you're able to learn about what you can expect and what you can possibly prevent by listening to the experience of others. And I hope that my experience, which has cost me, time and money, and it's been a bit of a struggle, but just stay positive, still trying to do my best. But that being said, if any of you watch this and in the future you're able to prevent this happening to you by taking some of the steps that I mentioned, then I'd be very happy about that. I think everyone as we build this community and as we engage more in conversation, talk more, we can learn a lot and save ourselves a lot of trouble and have a better experience when we pursue our aviation training. So I hope all of you are having an absolutely amazing day. I am. I was up flying today. I had an amazing flight, had a lot of fun. And I hope for the rest of you who are already flying that you're having fun, that you're flying safely, and most of all that you're just having a great time of it, because that's really the bottom line. As always, thank you all for joining me here on my late departure. I always love having all of you here with me. Don't forget to check out the Discord. We have, again, that great community building there, a lot of great things where you can learn and talk with other people about flying and learn, about flying in general, about flight training and all that kind of stuff. And it's also just a great place to meet some aviation friends and build your own personal network, because you never know, those people might be people you end up working with in the future, or someone who could give you a great reference for a pilot job, right? All right, so that's it for me today, and as always, remember, it's never too late. See you next time.